So students, welcome to the fourth session of chapter 1. So we are in the chapter 1, that is typical configuration of computer system. So till now we saw what is a computer, main part of the computer, that is what is a motherboard, characteristics of the motherboard, types of the motherboard, general structure of the motherboard, and now we are studying components of the motherboard. So in the components of motherboards we saw processor, BIOS, CMOS, slots, disk controllers. So next component of the motherboard, that is input output ports and interfaces. Now we will study what is input output ports. A port is nothing but it is a socket on the computer which is used to connect external devices to the computer. Suppose if I want to use a mouse or a joystick or a printer, okay, on the computer system, what I have to do, I have to connect these devices onto the for the computer system. So connecting these devices can be done through the port. So port is nothing but a socket on a computer which is used to connect external devices to the computer. A question can be asked for 1 mark. What is a port? Okay. And there are several types of ports are there, such as serial port, parallel port, USB port, AGP slot, and so more. So now we will see one by one. First one is a serial port. This port is also known as communication port or COM port. And one more name for this serial port is RS232C port. Basically, this serial port is used for connecting communication devices such as mouse and modems for the computer. So what is this mouse? We know already. This is an input device. So what is the modem? Modem is nothing but which is used to provide internet connections to the computer system. For connecting communication devices such as mouse and modem, we should always have a port called as serial port. Okay, and how does this serial port works? How does it transfer the data? Serial ports transfer the data only 1 bit at a time. Okay, suppose assume that you have a data 1100. How many bits are there? 1100. Total 4 bits are there. Suppose if I want to transfer these 4 bits of data using the serial ports, how the data will be transferred? At one particular time, the first bit, that is 1, will be transferred. After transferring the 1, the second bit, that is another 1, that will be transferred. After the second bit, the third bit, that is 0, will be transferred. After this, the fourth bit, another 0 will be transferred. So one by one, that is one after another, the bits will be transferred. At one particular time, only a single bit will be transferred. Okay, so in the serial port, this port transfers data serially 1 bit at a time. Okay, suppose if I want to transfer 8 bits of data, then how much time it will take? It will take 8 times longer. Yes, so 1 byte in the sense 8 bits. If I want to transfer 1 byte of data, it will take me 8 times longer time. And suppose if I want to transfer 2 bytes of data, 2 bytes in the sense 16 bits of data, how much time does it take? It will take 16 times longer time to transfer that data. Okay, and there are 2 varieties of COM ports are there, 2 varieties of serial ports are there. Those are 9-pin ports and 25-pin ports. Okay, so this can be asked in the examination. So many times it has been asked, what is a port? Explain the serial port. Okay, so you need to remember here, port is a socket on a computer which is used to connect external device to the computer. And what is a serial port? It is nothing but, it is also known as a communication port or a RS232C port. It transfers data serially only 1 bit at a particular time. Okay, so types of COM ports are 9-pin ports and 25-pin ports. Hope you all are getting. So moving to the next port, that is parallel port. So parallel ports, these are used to connect external input output devices like printers or scanners. Okay, So serial ports were used to connect communication devices. So and the parallel ports are used to connect some external input output devices such as printers and scanners. Okay, so we saw in the serial ports data was transmitting only one bit at a particular time, but in the parallel port what happens, parallel in the sense you can see multiple bit lines, multiple data transfer lines. Okay, suppose if I want to transfer here 4 bits of data, that is 1 1 0 0, I can transmit this 1 1 0 0 all 4 bits at one particular time only, at the same time. Okay, so this port facilitates the parallel transfer of data, that is every data can be transferred simultaneously. If this is of 4 if we have a 4 data lines, we can transfer 4 bits of data at one particular time, and if we have 8 bits of data lines, then what we can do, we can transfer 8 bits of data at one particular time. Okay, so this serial ports come in the form of 25 pin connectors. So this was also question asked, explain a parallel port. So you need to remember these are the ports which are used to connect external input or output devices such as printer or scanner, and this port allows to transfer the data parallelly. Okay, transfer the data parallelly in the sense you can transfer more data at one particular time only. Okay. Now moving on to the next port, that is IDE. IDE in the sense integrated digital electronics. The port IDE devices like CD-ROM drives or hard disk drives are connected to the motherboard through IDE port. Means suppose you want to connect CD-ROM drives and hard disk drives to the computer, that can be done through which port? That is IDE port. Okay, question can be asked, expand IDE. Expand in the sense full form, that is integrated digital electronics. So this port is used to connect CD-ROM drives or hard disk drives to the motherboard through IDE port. So next port is USB. So USB almost we all are using nowadays, right? So USB full form is Universal Serial Bus. Universal Serial Bus. This port is called as a plug and play interface. It is a plug and play interface between a computer and add-on devices. So what does that mean, plug and play? Means you can connect any device to the computer through these USB ports easily. You need not to include any additional adapter cards for that, or you need not to turn off the computer system. What you can do, directly we can attach those USB devices to the computer. Those external devices are nothing but we are calling them as add-on devices. So question can be asked here, what is plug and play device, or give an example for a plug and play. So what is example? That is nothing but USB devices, such as one example for USB device is a pen drive. We all are using the pen drive. Yes, so we connect the pen drive to the computer system, that is through the CPU directly. So when we connect the pen drive to the computer system, are we offing the system? Are we switching off the systems? No, right? We are simply connecting, inserting that to the USB port, and we are able to use the pen drive on our system. Yes, so remember here, USB is a plug and play interface between a computer and add-on devices, and we can easily connect or remove an external devices using this USB port. Okay, so external devices, not only the pen drive, it can be like, say, nowadays we are connecting printers, scanners, cameras, web cameras, speakers to the computers using this USB only. So now moving on to the next port, that is PS2 port. Full form is Personal System 2 port. So this port was developed by IBM to interface keyboards and pointing devices like mouse, trackballs and touchpads. Yes, so what is the purpose of this port? This port is allowing us to connect pointing devices such as mouse, trackball, touchpads also keyboards to the computer system. And this port is also called as mouse port, as most computers nowadays have PS2 port to connect to a mouse. Yes, we can connect mouse using USB port also, but special port is there to connect to the mouse to the computer system, that is PS2 port. So we can see two ports are there on the CPU, even we can see in the lab. So when we come to the lab, I'll show both the ports. Okay. So the next port is AGP port, that is accelerated graphics port. So you can guess what this port is for. As the name suggests, accelerated graphics port. So graphics, so this port is used to connect graphic card that provides high speed video performance, which is required in games and other multimedia applications. Yes, so you want to play some games on the computer system, you should have connected your graphics card to the computer system. So how can you connect those graphics card to the computer system? That can be done through the AGP ports. So question can be asked here, expand AGP or write about AGP. So AGP is accelerated graphics port, which is used to connect graphics card to the computer system, which provides us high speed video performances, which are required typically in the games and video multimedia applications. So the next port is SCSI port. SCSI full form is Small Computer System Interface. So this port is used for adding external devices such as high-speed hard disks, high-end scanners and CD-ROM drives. Okay, so this is one of the port which is used to connect devices, that is such high-speed devices such as hard disks, high-end scanners and CD-ROM drives to the computer system. Why we are connecting high-speed devices through this port? Because this port allows transfers the data in a faster manner. It does faster data transfers and input-output operations. Okay, the next port is VGA port. Full form is Visual Graphics Adapter port. So visual graphics adapter, visual in the sense seeing, watching, that is nothing but visual. So this port is used to connect monitors to the computer's video card. Why we are connecting monitors? Because visuals, I mean anything which we are seeing, output or anything, that is where that we are seeing on the monitors. So to see anything as output or as anything, what we need to do, we have to connect that monitor to the computer system. So this VGA is used to connect monitors to the computer's video card. The next port is power connector. Power connector in the sense that is required, right? So the name itself suggests it connects to the computer's power cable that plugs into a power bar or a wall socket. If you want to connect, if you want to provide the power, if you want to supply the power to the computer system, what we need to have? We should have a power connector. Yes or no? Otherwise, computer will not work. Without the power, will it work? No, right? So moving on to the next port, that is FireWire port. So this port connects camcorders and video equipments to the computer. So what is the purpose of this FireWire port? It is used to connect camcorders and some video equipments to our computer system. Next port is modem. Modem full form is modulator and demodulator. So this port is used to connect PC's modem to the telephone network. Yes, so as I said, modem is used for internet purpose. Yes, so this port is used to connect PC's modems to the telephone network. So moving on to the next port, that is Ethernet port. So it connects to a network and high speed internet. So Ethernet is nothing but one of the network, that is internetwork. Yes, so this port is used to connect to a network and a high speed internet. It connects a network cable to a computer. Okay, since Ethernet is a network only, if you want to connect that Ethernet to our computer system, we should have a Ethernet port, and this port resides where, it is placed where on the Ethernet card. So the next port is game port. Game port, so you might have seen, if you go for the malls and all, there will be the video games. Yes, so they will be not played directly on the computer system, they will give you some instruments. So one of the such instrument is a joystick. If you want to connect the joystick to the computer system, you should have a port. That port is nothing but game port. So this game port is used to connect a PC to a joystick. So using that joystick, what we can do, we can play the games on the computer system. Yes. So the next port is DVI port, that is digital video interface port. So it connects a flat panel LCD monitors to the computer's high-end video graphics. So what is the DVI? DVI is a digital video interface port, and it is used to connect LCD monitors to the computer's graphics cards, video graphics cards. Next is socket. So these are used to connect microphone, speakers to sound cards of the computer. Sockets are used for what? They are used for connecting microphone or speakers to sound cards of the computer. Yes, we need a microphone, we need a speakers, right? If you want to give input to the computer system, right now I'm speaking, I'm creating this video, I'm speaking, I'm explaining, right? So how I'm explaining these things, I'm giving you the input. My voice is an input for this explanation, right? How I'm delivering this voice, that is through microphones only. Yes, and you are listening to what I'm saying, that can be done, that is how, through the speakers only. Yes. Okay, so these are used to connect microphone, speakers to sound cards of the computers. Next port is MIDI, that is musical instrument digital interface port. MIDI full form is musical instrument digital interface port. So why this is used? This is nothing but a system which is designed to transmit information between electronic musical instruments. See, take an example of keyboard. You are playing a musical keyboard. Yes, so whatever tune you play on the musical keyboard, that can be captured by your computer system. So connecting this musical keyboard to the computer system, we should have a port. Yes, directly we cannot connect, we should have something called as port to connect this musical keyboard to the computer system. So that can be done through what? MIDI, that is musical instrument digital interface port. A MIDI musical keyboard, it can be attached to a computer, and it will allow a performer to play the music, and whatever the performer is playing the music, that will be captured by the computer system. When it will be captured by the computer system? If and only if we connect this musical keyboard to the computer system. And how are we going to connect this? Through the MIDI port. Okay, so till now what we saw the ports. There are 16 types of ports are there. A question can be asked, what is a port? Or name some of the ports, or explain any one of the port, or they can be asked, expand any port. Okay, so you need to remember this. So remaining I'll continue in the next session. Thank you.